Namaskar. This evening we will be studying the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Let us begin as usual with this stotra. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. Last time when we were discussing this gospel, then we were reading from the page 766. We are continuing from there itself. The question was, Girish is asking to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, what is ekangi prema? Eka Angi Prema. We discussed that in our last Wednesday. Sri Ramakrishna gave an unique example. He said, it is one-sided love. Like water doesn't like the duck. The duck likes the water. The duck will go and jump in the water and play in the water. Water is not inviting the duck. It's like the ekangi, one-sided love. You don't love me, but I like you, so I go to you. I enjoy your company. I like to serve you. This is a beautiful love without any expectation, ekangi. When that young Narendra used to come to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, naturally the God himself, he could understand who that young boy was. Apparently, he was an ordinary, like any other young person, but he was not. He was the Shiva himself. So Sri Ramakrishna used to respect him, love him, give a lot of attention. And people other around, they used to think, why he is giving so much of attention to this particular boy. And then one day, Sri Ramakrishna suddenly stopped talking with Narendranath, the young Vivekananda. And not only one day or 2 days, it continued for almost a long period of time. And whenever this young boy came, Sri Ramakrishna will turn his face, he won't talk to him. The physical, the posture, that was very clear that I am not liking you. But even then, he will be coming, he will be sitting, listening, and sometimes lying down on the floor, like that. One day, Sri Ramakrishna asked, hey, I am not talking with you, not paying attention at all. Then why do you come? This Narendra, he said, how much will be the age? Hardly 17, 18 years. He said, sir, I like you, I love you, I respect you, so I come to you. This is called ekangi prema, that particular. Sri Ramakrishna used to love him, guided him, but that particular moment Sri Ramakrishna wanted to see whether this boy is coming to me because I am paying attention to him. So that was the main. Most of our devotees also, they will be coming to the ashrama if they get the proper attention and this and that. The moment they won't, they will stop coming. So much of ego. They will never look, they will never talk, they think it is not necessary. Well, it is up to them, but why do you come? Only for that monk? Only for that person or the in charge over there? No, you come for the God. If we forget that, why we are coming to the temple, then it is of no use visiting the holy place. So this is ekangi. Then Sri Ramakrishna mentioned that this is sadharani and samanjasa and samartha. Sadharani is a very selfish type of love. I want everything from you, whether you like it or not. I want everything from you. And whether you like it or not. Sadharani. Sadharani means very ordinary. Sadharan, ordinary. And it's a selfish type of love. Give me this, give me that, serve me, all this. But I don't care about you. So that is a sadharani. And second is samanjasa. Samanjasa, both sides. I am also giving you the love and you also reciprocating. Usually that is called samanjasa, normal. I am giving attention to God, I am praying to God, God is also fulfilling my prayer, answering my prayer, I am very happy, samanjasa. But the very perfect and the highest, as Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, is the samartha. Samartha means this is the topmost. Samartha means capable. I have that samartha. Samartha is a Sanskrit word, capable. What is that capability? Even if I am not getting attention from you, I am not expecting anything from you, I keep on loving you. That is the Radha. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning it is only for the Radha. She was happy in Krishna's happiness. That is called samartha. This different type of, one is ekangi, another is ekangi and samartha almost like the same, but the samartha is the highest. Here the love, I am not expecting anything, but I am concerned that you must be happy. So that is why it is mentioning like this. Then he said the gopis love. Those who are associated with the Indian culture, they will know the gopi means those holy ladies who were in Vrindavan. They used to love Lord Krishna. So about them Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning their love was just like that. Krishna should be happy. God should be happy. Whether God is listening to my prayer or answering my prayer or not, it doesn't matter. So then one asks like this, a devotee is asking, sir, who may be called an antaranga? But before we go to this, answering this question, as we, the last week we discussed that we should continue a little about this devotion. What is this devotion? There are many schools of devotion. They also come under the umbrella Vedanta. The Vedanta, the Advaita Vedanta and Vedanta are different. One of the schools of Vedanta is Advaita Vedanta, and that is propounded by Shankaracharya. And they are purely monistic. They don't believe in any other thing but only the self, etc. They don't think that there is two separate entities like the Jiva and the God. No. It is the same thing, only you are thinking in a different way. That much. Otherwise it is the same thing. So but here today we will discuss about the bhakti that is called Ramanujas. He was also a Vedantin, but Vedantin, he developed another school and that is called Vishishta Advaita. Vishishta was very specific, very important. What is that Vishishta? Because here it says, this explanation, difference in explanation, why the different schools, same thing they are telling, only explanations are different. Different scholars, different teachers, they explain things in their way. Those who are following them, they follow that particular school. The Ramanuja, for him, what is that bhakti? Is the dhyana and upasana. Ramanuja said, what is bhakti? Dhyana, meditation, and upasana, prayer. Now naturally the question, whom I am meditating, on whom I am meditating. It says it is the Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. The Ramanuja, he is telling Lord Vishnu. We have to remember this. At different schools, different teachers, they are mentioning the object of love in a different way. So this is, Ramanuja says, Vishishtadvaita is the dhyana. On whom we will meditate? He said, Vishnu. And then upasana. Upasana means literally the one who goes near to that God. Upa means near. Asana, I sit near. Near to whom? To God. Upasana. I am sitting near God. But here the upasana means prayer. I am praying to God, I am worshipping God, I am devoted to God, I am offering everything to God. And who is that God? Vishnu. That is Ramanuja. And 3 stages of bhaktis are there. In the Ramanuja said, 3 stages of bhakti. What is that? One is sadhana. One is sadhana, means general. Then para and parama. Para means higher, parama highest. The 3 different type of stage. Of course, when I am beginning my journey in this school, obviously it is all very ordinary type of education. So it goes in this way. One of the great teacher, the Swami, he was explaining that the Vedantic way of counting, we always forget ourselves. So there is an example, the dasamastamasi, you are the 10th one. That's very famous. Many of you have heard that. So he was counting in his lecture. He was mentioning 1, 2, 3. He was going up to 9. There was a young boy. So he has only started going to school. He was listening, and after listening 2, 3 times that he is counting up to 9, where is the 10th one? Then he said, I can count up to 20. So he was very confident. Oh, this gentleman cannot count after 10, but I can count up to 20. So that is also knowledge. He is also going to school. He is also sitting in the classroom. He has his books. He has his teacher. But still that knowledge, that way is a sadhana. So that is the beginning of the bhakti. And second is the higher, where we feel that I am so close to God, as if I can see God, I can feel the presence of God, the highest becoming one with God, constant. So this is the Ramanuja. Another teacher, very famous teacher, is called Nimbarka. Nimbarka, Dvaita. This is Vishishta Advaita of Ramanuja, and Nimbarka, it says Dvaita. It is duality, but at the same time non-duality. Dvaita Advaita, Dvaita Advaita. To him, to Nimbarka, bhakti means service of God through body, speech and mind. The Ramanujas was dhyana and upasana. Nimbarka says you have to serve God. How? Physically. You have to go and serve the Lord physically by working for the ashrama, working for the temple. And to the speech, when you are talking, you must quote always and speak about the God. And also mind, you are going on thinking. The physically, the mentally and bachika. Kaika, bachika, manasika. In Sanskrit they say we work 3 ways, kaika, bachika, manasika. Which is the kaika means physically, bachika through words, manasika through thoughts, through mind. So when I am talking about God, and when I am working for God. And at the same time, I am going on meditating, thinking, pondering of God. So that is Nimbarkas. And it says the 2 stages of devotion. Ramanuja 3 stages. First primary, higher, highest, and supreme, parama. But here it says primary stage, final stage. No middle stage. So that is the 2 difference only. This is the way Nimbarka is called Dvaita. Then come Madhvacharya. So we mainly we know about the Shankara, Ramanuja and Madhva. Nimbarka and others, and that way nowadays not very popular, but those schools are there. Madhva, a pure Daitva. is completely different. Means God is separate, I am separate. And here, Dvaita, Advaita. We are one with God. But at the same time, in the beginning, we are different. Then slowly we develop love. And then slowly we go and very close to God, merge with God. If the God wishes, we can merge with God, we can be near to God, all these things. So Ramanuja, Nimbarka and Madhva says, Bhakti means devotion to Narayana. Ramanuja said devotion to the Vishnu, and he said Narayana. Another form of the same Vishnu, Narayana. Then comes the Vallabha, Shuddha Advaita. Vallabhacharya, they are all Acharya. Acharya means the teachers, they are all philosophers. So one after another, in all bhakti schools, under the banner of the bhakti, under the umbrella of the bhakti, the devotion, all the schools are there. So Ramanuja, Nimbarka, Madhva and Vallabha, he said, Shuddha Advaita. To him, bhakti means devotion to child Krishna. Just for our remembrance, Ramanuja is the Vishnu. Nimbarka is a service to God, and the God means here Vishnu again. And Madhva, it says, it is Narayana. And then comes the Vallabha, Shuddhadvaita, is a child Krishna. And three stages of devotion. One is physical, another financial, another manasa. The difference is Kaik, Bachik, Manasika of the Nimbarka, but Vallabha says no, is a physically and vitta, your wealth, your money, that should be utilized for the service of God. And manasa, you must go on pondering over God, meditating on God, praying to God mentally. So three, that way we can practice the Vallabhas. Here the bhakti means devotion to child Krishna, baby Krishna. This is Vallabhas. This is called, his philosophy is named as Shuddha Advaita. Then comes the Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya, nearly 450 years before Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in the same Bengal of India. Here the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, well, he is famous as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is the highest God, something highest teacher, Sri Chaitanya. His bhakti means devotion to Radha Krishna. There are so many Vaishnavas are there. Not that all the Vaishnavas are worshipping Radha Krishna. When we see that a group of Vaishnavas are worshipping Radha Krishna, that belongs to Sri Chaitanya school. So when the Ramanuja, they are also Vaishnavas, but they worship Vishnu. When the Nimbarka, same Vishnu, but in a different way. Then Madhva, it is Narayana. Then Vallabha, it is child Krishna. Sri Chaitanya, same Vishnu in the Radha Krishna form. All this kirtan that we hear and the dances that we see, these are all Gaudiya Vaishnava Samaj. See the devotion, we were talking about, Sri Ramakrishna was talking about the devotion. So many schools are there, but all are leading to the same goal, that is God. They may give the name of God in a different way, sometimes Vishnu or child, baby Krishna, child Krishna, or the Radha Krishna, or the Narayana, whatever it may be. So we are all same. And there is no conflict. You love that form, it is okay. So this is the beauty. So Chaitanya, Achinta Veda Aveda Vada. Achintya, that thing that we cannot think. That means that goes beyond our all senses. And Veda, Aveda. There is a difference, at the same time there is no difference. So Achinta, Veda, Aveda, Bada. It has 7 stages. The devotion slowly it increases. Ramanuja 3, ordinary, then higher, then the supreme. Like this, but it has 7. And in the 7 stages, his first is Rati, Prema, Sneha, Mana, Raga, Anuraga, Mahabhava. And Anuraga and Mahabhava, that is the highest form. Mahabhava, only Radha had that. The experiencing that Mahabhava, I am that Krishna, that was only for Radha. That's why the Radha concept is there for the Gaudiya Vaishnava Samaj. They are mainly from the Gaud Banga, the Bengal. So the Gaudiya Vaishnava Samaj, they have the concept of the Radha. Who is this Radha? Pure Sattva. That's why Radha is purely white. And she is so soft. That's why lady form. And she is merging with that. Because of the Sattva, there is no ego. That is the reason it's called Anuraga and finally Mahabhava. Those who are interested, you can read in details about it. And the 7 stages, slowly it goes up. In the Bhagavata, we find that Sri Krishna said to Uddhava. Now the thing is how the devotion will develop. The devotional schools, different schools are there, different types of devotions are there. But how we will generate the devotion? That is a beautiful question, very wonderful question. And here the Lord Krishna, he is giving the answer to the Uddhava. In the Uddhava Gita, in the Bhagavata, it says, Prayena bhakti yogena satsangena vina naupaya vidyate sadvang prayanam hi satamaham. Now here it says, bhakti yogena satsangena vina. Vina means without. Without what? Satsanga. What is satsanga? Holy company. Without the holy company, you cannot generate bhakti, devotion. Now, bhakti yoga means that devotion which is a power, which is a force, which we are utilizing to realize God, using to reach God, that is possible only after the holy company. So, holy company can help you. And then he said, this is the only easiest path, and then I don't know whether there is any other paths or not. That is, Lord Krishna is mentioning, I don't know any other paths. Easiest like this. What is the thing? You have to have the holy company. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also mentioned the holy company is necessary. Sadhu Sangha. In the whole the Hindu tradition, they always speak about the Sadhu Sangha. That is very, very essential. What is the Sangha? Sangha means company. If you have that good company, then only your thought will be directed towards that. It is only mind. It is only the thought. If someone is going on telling you about something, that in different countries, they will be going on telling about this. Oh, this is our country, this is our motherland, we should give our life for this land and we should fight for it. They go on talking about that. Suppose that particular person is in some other country, he will be talking about that country. So it goes on this way. It is very, very temporary. But it is also necessary for the society. But for the spiritual life, no. Spiritual life has no that narrowness. It goes beyond all the socio, political, economical, everything beyond. It goes to love. Majority of the people don't understand why. Because selfishness. They only think about themselves. Me, my family, my society, my religion, my country, It is going on little increasing, but as a limit. They can't think of anything else. And when you are going to embrace the whole world, they think, oh, this is a fool. Why should you do that? Whatever the best thing you must collect, that's selfishness. That's why you need a holy company. And the holy company, slowly when you are listening, when you are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the highest holy company. Those who regularly read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, holy company. And there Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna so categorically, very clearly, slowly taking our mind to a bigger and bigger place. This is your God. Good. You like this God. Okay, continue. But don't hate others also who is worshipping the same God. One is worshipping Lord Vishnu, Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhari. Another is worshipping Narayana. Another worshipping the child Krishna. Another worshipping Krishna with Radha, young Krishna with the playmate Radha. So like this, different same God in different form, in different name, in different situation, different teachers are worshipping them and asking them to worship that. Whatever you like, you can continue. Why to hate others? Why to criticize others? First you sincerely go and graduated from that university. Realize the God through that path first. Then you see what you have got after the realization of that Lord. It will be only love and nothing else. And that is Sri Ramakrishna. After practicing all these paths, he said, all paths are leading to the same goal. And this truth was pronounced long back at the time of the Veda, in the Satya Yuga. Truth is one. Sages call it by various names. Ekam Sat, Vipra, Bahuda Vadanti. To understand this, we need a really clear mind. A narrow, subjugated, contaminated mind can never think of it. So this is the way we have to understand. That's why sadhu sangha is necessary. In the Bhagavata again, it is emphasizing on the holy company. It says, I am not quoting the whole verse, it says, it is true that the sages said, association is the cause of bondage. Association, worldly association. Worldly association means it is all selfishness. My country, my culture, my religion, my language, my property, my family, all this is my, I'm all comes only I. Me and mine, only I comes. This is all associated with the ego. But what is that ego? Before your birth, where you were, what was there? The ego. And after your death, where the ego will go? But foolishly, only maybe we are surviving for 60 years, 70 years, going on jumping, ego. So that he is telling, if you are having the company of those type of people, your mind, your thought will be directed to that. That is bad. Why bad? Because again you have to take birth. If you cannot overcome the ego, you cannot love, you cannot become unselfish, again you have to come back and you have to take birth and you do not know where. Whom you are hating today, maybe you have to take birth among them someday and suffer like them. We do not know. Whether you like it or not, accept it or not, believe it or not, that is the truth. The karma bandhana, no one can go beyond it. So it says, association is very bad because it causes bondage. The sages said, but the Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna is mentioning, but the saeva sadhushu, but if that association is with the monk, with the holy people, sadhu, Sadhu means not always monks. Sadhu means the good people, holy people. Krito mokshadaram apabritam is the third skanda, 25th chapter, 20th verse. Second line I am quoting. Sa eva sadhushu krito mokshadvaram apabritam. But if you have the association of the holy people, then that association will help you to reach to the liberation. Association is bad, said the sages, but that association meant the worldly association. But association of the holy people will help you to realize the God. Mokshadaram apabritam. It is wide open if you have the proper good association of the holy people. Now the question is, who are the holy people? Again, in the Bhagavata, same Bhagavata, it mentions Titikshava, Karunika, Surhida, Sarvadehinam, Ajata Shatrava, Shanta, Sadhya, Sadhubhushanaha. Titikshava, the forgiveness, those who are having the forgiveness. It's so difficult to forgive. Till death they will be remembering. No, I have to take the revenge. They can't forgive. It needs a broad mind to forgive. So titikshava. Then karunikaha, very kind-hearted. If the mind is not kind-hearted, it cannot be a holy person. It is impossible. If a person cannot forgive, if somebody has done something wrong to you, and you are going on pondering over that, remembering over that, and planning to take the revenge, you may be anyone, but you are not a holy person. Holy person will never do that. And karunikaha, kind-hearted. It cannot harm anyone. It cannot see the suffering of others. A kind-hearted. Suhrida, sarvadehinam, is a friend of all. Oh, he is from my family, so I must serve them. And he is from my same village. And there is a word like a biradari, is from my same group. And we should help them. They can never become a holy person. Never, ever. So that is why Surhida Sarvadehinam. It is in the Bhagavata. Lord Krishna is mentioning. Those who are worshipping the Lord Krishna, if we don't do it, that means we are not following the words of our God. Sarvadehinam. He is not mentioning these. Anyone, whoever comes, I am the friend of that person. Then Ajata Shatrava, having no enemy. Because in his mind there is no hatred. So who is a sadhu? Who is a holy person? Not a gerua clad person. Not one who is having no clothes or lot of the matted hair. No, not like that. All those external. The real monk, real sadhu, real holy person must have these qualities. That this is titikshava. He can forgive. Karunikaha, full of kind-hearted. Surhidaha, friend of everyone. Surhida, sarvabhutanam, ajata shatrava, having no enemy because there is no hatred. Other may think about him, but he doesn't think anything wrong about others. Shantaha, as because there is no desire. Please appreciate me, please follow me. No desire. So Shanta, he is very peaceful. Sadhva, and simple. Never tell anything in a crooked way, in such a way that people won't understand. To deceive people something, never ever. Because he doesn't have any agenda to get the benefit, get the profit, nothing. Very simple. The Sadhva, then Sadhu Bhushana, they are the highest holy people. Now, friends, we were discussing about the devotional path. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, as because they were asked one question, which is the Ekangi Bhakti, then he mentioned different stages of bhakti, different types of bhakti, according to the different temperament of the people. Then we find from our scripture that under the umbrella of the Vedanta there are so many the duality, so many devoted school of devotions are there. And then finally from the Bhagavata we find that it is only from the holy company one can generate, one can achieve, one can have devotion. And who is that holy person? These qualities should be there. And also the Lord is mentioning in the same Bhagavata, one who has renounced his hearth and home, one who is still living in the samsara, having the family, can never become a holy person because he is having the selfishness. That is very clear. That's why Swami Vivekananda said about the religion, one must get the advice from a monk who has left each and everything, hearth and home. He is not having anyone of his own. So naturally they are completely free. So that person is as because he is not having anything of his own, he is not having any craving for the worldly things like the wealth, the power, social recognition, nothing at all. If a holy person is working for the society and keeping all the record and then submitting to the country government to get the recognition of that country, no, he is not holy person. As an organization, they sometimes do, but an individual, no at all. So then what? Another thing? These are all no. What is yes? Love for God. Whatever he does for God. He is a holy person. So now this is the way we understand. And now we go back to the pages of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I am reading from this as 766. The one gentleman is asking a devotee. A devotee means Master Mahasaya himself. Sometimes he was hiding himself, so mentioned as a devotee, like that. It's a devotee. Said, who may be called an antaranga. Now, antaranga, very close to the God, very close to the divine, the holy person. Antaranga, bahiranga. Those who understand this little bit Sanskrit, the pronunciation is anta. Anta means inside. Bahi is outside. Anga means the body. And bahi anga is the external body and internal, very close. So he is asking, who are the antaranga? Then the master Ramakrishna is giving the illustration. Let me give an illustration. In Nat Mandir, the Hindu temples, the traditional Hindu temples are having two different parts. It must be. There is one called Garbha Mandira, Sanctum Sanctorum, and another is Nat Mandira. This is the general part where all people, they assemble, they sing bhajan, there will be dancing, there will be presentation, debate, all these things will be there. Natta from their Nat Mandira. And God will be watching. Just in front of the God, that is the Nat Mandira. So Sri Ramakrishna mentioning about the Nat Mandira has pillars, the inside and outside. He was mentioning about the Dakshineshwar, that if you go to Dakshineshwar, if you have seen the picture of Dakshineshwar temple, a completely separate temple, then a little open space, then a hall that is called Nat Mandira. It has two different types of pillars. One, the external pillar holding that roof, another internal pillar that is also supporting the roof, but external and internal. Giving that, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning the God is in the center. Those who are very pure hearted, they are very close to God. And those who are not so much, they are little outside. So, Antaranga, Bahiranga. A Nat Mandir has pillars inside and outside. And Antaranga is like the inside pillars. Those who always live near the Guru are the Antarangas. The Guru means the holy person. Guru means the God. To Mahima Acharan, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna now addressing the Mahima Acharan, he is telling, the Jnani wants neither a form of God nor his incarnation. That is very clear idea. And that is Sri Ramakrishna. Apparently, he is an ignorant person. He never attended school. He never studied any scripture. But look at it, this knowledge from within. So the Veda is known as Apaurusheya. It is not intellectual. Somebody imagined a thought and then he wrote down, not like that. It comes from within, from the realization. Though Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna never read any scriptures, but all the truths of the scriptures, all the truth of the scripture, I am mentioning all the truth. Truth is only one. But the different way, as they have mentioned in different scripture, different way of expression of the same truth, everything was known to him. He is mentioning here, the Jnani wants neither a form of God nor his incarnation. Who is the path of Jnani? Most of us we know. Jnana means knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Who am I? Searching that. Now, I am that one. They believe that there is no two, it is only one. And if it is one, then who is meditating on whom? The moment I think I am meditating, so I is there. So when the notion of I is there, then thou or you, oh God, so that is also there. But the path of knowledge, they cannot meditate. This is the way, if you read some of the other scriptures, then one rishi, he was going on thinking, so I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this sky, I don't have any connection with anything of this manifested world. He was going on thinking again. So that deep sense, then who am I? That comes the consciousness. So that is their path. They are not meditating, they are not worshipping. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning Jnani wants, because Mahimacharan had the tendency to follow the path of knowledge. Not knowing actually, perhaps, not very clearly what that path is, how to follow that path, and what is the goal, how to achieve it. So Sri Ramakrishna clarifying him very clearly, the Jnani wants neither a form of God. We were reading that Ramanuja's form of God is Vishnu, Chaitanya's form is Radha Krishna, like this. The Jnani will never ask for any form, nor his incarnation. While wandering in the forest, Ramachandra saw a number of rishis, and they welcomed him to their ashrama with great love and said to him, in the Ramayana, when we are reading Ramayana, once in a month we are giving the class on Ramayana also. Now we have reached to that, Sri Ramachandra entering into that forest, and so many rishis he was meeting one after another. Though we thought that it is a forest, but wonderful people used to live over there, the best minds, they used to live in the forest. And Sri Ramachandra went over there and he told his wife that I am going to spend some time with these great minds. They are unselfish people. They love all this and they are researching to find out the truth. It's a beautiful environment. There is no selfishness. So I like to go to and he met those rishis. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioning they met all these great rishis, seers, rishi, or the muni, those who used to ponder, used to think, used to meditate, researchers, we can say, spiritual researchers. They met Sri Rama and said, "Oh Rama, today our life is blessed because we have seen you." And this Y is capital. That means you is God. Those rishis, through their yogic power, they could realize that is the supreme Brahman, Parabrahma. He has come in the form of Sri Ramachandra. But the Ramachandra never wanted that should be disclosed, because ordinary people, general mass, they were not ready to accept that. There will be commotion, misunderstanding. And that is the reason in the Ramayana we never find that he is claiming like that or instructing for spiritual life. No. Immediately after the Satya Yuga, Sri Ramachandra is coming and he is establishing the society, the Purushottama. That's why the Ramachandra. When the rishis they realized, rishis they understood, they came to see that, oh, you are the son of Dasharatha. They understood that who is he, but again, they never wanted to disclose it. They said, you are the son of Dasharatha. And Bharadwaja and other sages call you a divine incarnation. But that is not our view. We meditate on the indivisible Satchidananda. Rama was pleased with them and smiled. They said, Rama, we know, the Bharadwaja said that you are that supreme. But at this moment we are not accepting because we meditate on Satchidananda Sarupa, Nirguna, Nirakara, the one who is not having any epithets, one who is not having any form, who is all pervading consciousness. We meditate on that supreme Brahman. O Rama, we are not accepting you as an incarnation of God, though the Bharadwaja, the great sage, said. Rama was pleased because he never wanted that should be disclosed. Ah, what a state of mind I passed through. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning about his own spiritual condition that he was passing. My mind would lose itself in the indivisible absolute. The Sri Ramakrishna is the embodiment of all paths. Is Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, Advaita, all that we read, everything he practiced. Now he is mentioning about the absolute Advaita. Mahimacharan, he was talking with Sri Ramakrishna. Now Sri Ramakrishna giving a hint to Mahimacharan, another devotee, that though he is in the human form, sitting before them, talking to them, but he is that absolute Brahman. That's why he mentioned about the Sri Rama. The Rama smiled, hearing those rishis, those who said, we don't, at this moment we are not accepting you as Satchidananda. We are accepting you as the son of Dasharatha, the king. And Rama never said, oh no, you don't understand that I am a... Never. Here also, Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving the hint that he is also that absolute, Parabrahma, but in the form of Sri Ramakrishna, apparently so ordinary looking, is sitting before them, talking with them, living with them. So but he is mentioning, those who will understand, they will understand. What a state of mind I passed through. My mind would lose itself in the indivisible absolute. How many days I spent that way. I renounced bhakti and bhakta, devotion and devotee. I became inert. I could not feel the form of my own head. I was about to die. I thought of keeping Ramlala's aunt near me. Ramlala's aunt means our mother, Ma Sarada. Because Sri Ramakrishna used to forget about his existence. When we are practicing the Jnana Marga, there is no duality, then the mind forget that it has a body. The mind goes and merges with the absolute, like a drop of water that falls in the ocean. How can that drop of water can retain its individuality in the ocean water? It happens like that. I ordered to remove the removal of all the pictures and portraits from my room. When I regained outer consciousness, when the mind climbed down to the ordinary level, I felt as if I were being suffocated like a drowning person. At last I said to myself, if I cannot be a people, then how shall I live? Then my mind was again directed to bhakti and bhakta. What has happened to me? I kept asking people. Bholanath said to me, Bholanath, another person, he was a staff of the Dakshinesha. He mentioned, this state of mind has been described in the Mahabharata. How can a man live on coming down from the plane of samadhi? Surely he requires devotion to God and the company of devotees. Otherwise, how will he keep his mind occupied? As a pure mind, they cannot live in the company of the impure minds. So impure minds constantly think about the selfishness. So this is my money, I should do this, I should have that. So this is the way they think. They always talk about the lust and gold. So the pure mind who has already given up all those things, they feel suffocated. So obviously, if they like to live, they live in the company of the devotees. These devotees, though they are living in the world, but still their mind is purified. They love God, they like to listen to God, listen about God, they pray, and they all these things that they do. So the mind is to some extent very pure. So naturally, the holy person, he loves to be in that company. Unholy people, those who are constantly thinking about the me and mine associated with the body, the egoistic people, they will never can appreciate the company of a holy person. Rather, they will think, oh, these people are just like that, they talk like this is not practical. And they will go to those holy people, so-called holy people, who are having social contacts, great names. Why? Because they will also get the benefit out of that. So they go for their own benefit, not for any spiritual development, not for any spiritual benefit. They go to those people who are famous so that they also can get associated with the higher society to get the benefit. So this is usually, normally, we see in the society. So one should be very, very careful. That's why it is so important to read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, because in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it is very clearly, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is giving very clear idea who is a holy person. And without the company of the holy person, without listening to him, without hearing him, without serving him, we won't be able to purify our mind. And so long we are in that impurity, that long we have to go on taking rebirth after rebirth, which is nothing but suffering. That's why the Lord Buddha said, it is all suffering, suffering, and suffering. Dukkham, dukkham, sarvam dukkham. So friends, we are reading this, then Mahimacharan, he is mentioning about this. Sir, can a man return from the plane of samadhi to the plane of the ordinary world? Mahimacharan is having the doubt. Why? The Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, see, in one paragraph we read, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning to Mahimacharan about his condition, where his mind merged with the Supreme, all-pervading consciousness. Then again he came back and he was wondering how to survive. And Bholanath, he mentioned that it is in the Mahabharata that this type holy people, they live in the company of the devotees and devotion. Now he is again asking Mahimacharan, this was clear. Again he is asking, can a man return from the plane of Samadhi to the plane of the ordinary world? He is doubting the statements of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The Sri Ramakrishna in a low voice, I shall tell you privately, you are the only one fit to hear it. Now why? Because Sri Ramakrishna understood that his mind is not open. So it will, okay, I will give you some time. Maybe, the Sri Ramakrishna had that capacity, he could just change the mind by touching or showing something. Like the Mathur Babu was doubting the way that this man is a divine person. He's just ordinary person. He is pacing up and down of the veranda, and Mathur Babu from a distance he was observing and thinking, such an ordinary person, why people think that he is a holy man and is divine? Immediately Mathur Babu saw that in one way Sri Ramakrishna walking, he is the Shiva, and when he is turning back, it is a Kali, the same person as the Lord Shiva and the Kali. Mathur Babu was the devotee of Shiva and the Kali. He came running and fell at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna and said, Lord, I will never doubt you. I will never doubt you. Same doubt came in the mind of Arjuna. The Lord Krishna had to show, because they used to love them. Sri Ramakrishna used to love Mathur Babu, so he showed that. Sri Krishna used to love Arjuna, he showed that as a Vishwarupa. So like that, maybe, I don't know, Sri Ramakrishna was thinking or mentioning that I will tell you privately. But then he mentioned about the Kunwar Singh also asked me the same question. I will read these 2 lines and I will conclude, and maybe in the next Wednesday we will discuss about it. You see, there is a vast difference between the Jiva and Ishvara. Jiva is the individual self and Ishvara the supreme God. Through worship and austerity, a Jiva can at the utmost attain Samadhi. But he cannot come down from that state. After attaining the Samadhi, the ordinary mind cannot come down because that is so much joyful. Why he will come down? My mind forgets about the existence of the body. On the other hand, an incarnation of God can come down from Samadhi because it is His will. We will continue this. Now, if there is any question, we will try to answer.
Last minute question.
So we can.
Alpana Ghosh is asking, please tell us about Radha. Was Radha truly present, or is Radha represented as a whole human body? Alpana Ghosh. Tomorrow I'll just repeat.
No, I understood. It is the Radha represented. Yeah, that is actually is the Radha. Sometimes some people they say, some scholars they say, there was no such character as the Radha. That was developed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that a character which through different problems, because you know that in India, the Orthodox family, she was a married lady, but even then she is coming out, going to Krishna, and not careful about the social thing. So by that way, because of tremendous attention, love for the Krishna. Sometimes some people say it is actually only to teach ordinary people what type of love or devotion should be for God. So they depicted a character. Sometimes they say, and it is there, Radha was there. That is that conception. But whatever, we can say, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna told Narendranath, Narendra as a young boy, he said, I don't like this type of love, conjugal life type. Then Sri Ramakrishna immediately said, oh, you are very young, you are not understanding. But anyway, can't you see the tremendous attraction, a love of Radha for Krishna? Take that. Take that. Whether she is a lady and loving a man, Sri Krishna is not a man. Sri Krishna is the embodiment of the consciousness. So obviously we should not think in a different way, though many of the stories, books, and many people like to depict in that way in the songs, in the drama, but it is not like our ordinary worldly love. It is the divine soul going to the supreme soul. That way, the pure divine soul going to the supreme soul, merging. That individual pure soul is Radha and going and merging with the Krishna. So that is the way mostly we should take. Thank you.
Akshay Bhatia is asking, if a jiva cannot come down from samadhi, then does that mean the jiva will no longer live after samadhi?
Yes. As Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again said, that after 21 days they die. When there is a samadhi, is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for the ordinary people. Those who are really very high, exalted spiritual people, they survive for the betterment of others, to serve the others. That is true. Thank you. Okay, friends, let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Friends, today is the Ambubachi, and in that Ambubachi, they always, Hindus, they always make some way so that people, they remember God, try to live a holy life. The Ambubachi day, that is also today, that is a very holy day, and from now onwards, again, the God will give us the food so that we can survive all this. So my congratulations to all of you on this holy occasion of Ambubachi. Thank you.